Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Singh, and today I'm going to take you over one of the most craziest games I've played over the board. This game was played in the fourth round of John Hurt Memorial in uh, at the Memphis Chess Club, and I was playing Towns Buford. For some reason, before this time I played Towns, I've always had black against him, so I was really happy to get white and actually have a little advantage at the start. So let's also, before starting, I think there will actually be multiple variations pretty deep into this that I will try to show you. I would recommend pausing before going into those or before listening to what I'm trying to show you, and just trying to calculate them out on your own. But let me take you through this really quickly. So let's go through the opening first. So I played e4, c6, and whoever has played Towns before knows that he absolutely loves Karakan. And I also played from the black, so I knew certain opening lines here. And I chose the advance. So here you can pick either e5, knight c3, e takes d5, and multiple other variations. Knight d2, knight e2. I've had, I think knight probably not knight e2, but knight d2, and I've had multiple again options. And I just picked advanced because it makes more sense to play more sharper lines in a shorter time control. So this one was 45 delay 5. And here he played c5, one of the more sharper lines. Again, d takes c5, the top engine move. And here I was expecting knight c6, but he went e6. And since this was not in my prep, so I just played intuitively from here. And I played bishop e3, trying to defend the c5 pawn right away. And then maybe in due time try to play f4 and bishop f2, defending both the pawns. But he played knight d7. So the idea now is that this knight attacks this pawn and this pawn, so it forks, but also this bishop and the knight attack the c5 pawn twice, and there's no way I can defend the pawn, both the pawns. Now there is a way that I can play queen d4 and defends, puts two defenders on the c5 pawn, but the thing is bishop takes c5 anyway loses the pawn because queen is the larger defender, so I cannot play bishop takes c5 because the queen stands in the middle. So I chose to pin the knight, therefore removing the attacker from both the pawns. And here I think it looks like queen a5 probably should get back the pawn, but it's really interesting because I don't think it does. Maybe in one of the variations it does, but knight c3, a6, trying to remove again the bishop. So bishop takes d7, bishop takes d7, and now c5 is attacked twice. But here, instead of trying to defend it, weirdly, I just play a3, because now if you take bishop takes c5, I have b4 forking the queen and the bishop. And no matter what you do, I will win the bishop. I will just win the bishop, because if bishop takes a3, I just take the queen, and if the queen moves, I just take on c5 with the bishop, and that seems really over for black from there. So instead of queen a5 here, he went knight e7, and here I played f4. So my idea is simple as usual in the exchange variations where you play c5, d takes c5. I want to create a little place for my bishop to sit on f2, because his knight will land eventually on f5, and it'll pressure me a lot, and then I can play knight f3 and castle kingside. So that's just easier, and there's no smothered mate ideas because my bishop just sits on f2, so no checks on b6. Anyway, knight f5, and here I just didn't want him to get, again, so if I play bishop f2 here, I didn't want him to get queen a5. And the idea is not that I'm scared of something. The problem is that I do not really want to play knight c3. Instead, I want to play c3 b4 and put the knight on d2. So I took on d7 first, and then I played bishop f2. Now if again queen a5, I have to play knight c3. But that's it. I mean, maybe I'll just let it go. And here he played b6, which is interesting because and I think he confessed to me after the game that he felt like this shows up in some of the lines, and probably is one of the moves. And I just felt that I could take here, and I should have actually taken here. So I think I mixed up the move order. I mean, I probably calculated both, but then I felt this is playable, but I just wanted to play a little bit more forcing, so I played g4 first, and I think that was a little bad because he gets knight h4, and now if bishop takes h4, queen takes h4, the king has to move, and no matter what, now my pawn on c5 is also being attacked. So I have to make a choice. Do I let the pawn on c5 go, or do I like just not castle? And here I took on b6, and I was like, uh, I will not castle, but let's see how much attack you can get out of this. So I played king d2, and after knight takes f4, I take on a7. Now this is an interesting position. Why? Because I am 2 pawns up. I have a pawn on a7, which is 1 square away from queening, and actually very important pawn, as we'll see once we go ahead. But the other point is that I haven't castled, but I'm also not under attack. Also, his king is still in the center, so he's still behind in development. Not behind, but still a little underdeveloped. And I can use those 2-3 moves to just stabilize the position and just enjoy the extra extra pawns or the extra material. And the other thing that I really like is that despite him having the bishop pair, the pawns on d5 and e6 are basically blocking his bishop, and he doesn't have any play with that light squared bishop whatsoever. So bishop b4, c3, and bishop e7. And I think this just gives me a luft for the king, so I am more than happy to go king c2, knight d2, and I think just bishop e7 would have been probably better. And here I played king c2, and he played queen c7. And queen c7 comes with the idea that he wants to attack the e5 pawn, so I defended with queen d4, but there's also this continuation that I'm also attacking his knight on f4, so he had to go back with knight g6, and now he's attacking my e5 pawn again twice. So I play knight f3, and he castles, and here I think I should have gone a more conservative route with knight bd2, f6, and after queen b6 takes, and then a4, e4, knight d4, e3, knight f1, rook f2, king b3. The position is a little unclear, but it's still playable. He has a bishop pair, and he has like a passed pawn which is on the 6th rank for him. So the position really unclear, but also very interesting to play for. And instead of playing this really nice knight d2 move, I instead chose to go a little aggressive and play h4, which is actually a mistake. So you should probably pause it and try to find the move. But this just gives him a lot of counterplay, and he found the best move really quickly, f6. And I think at this point we were like, so from 40 minutes, I think we've gone to like maybe 7 minutes, and we're getting into the time pressure zone. And since it's delay 5, you really can't afford, or maybe plus 5, I don't remember, but you really can't afford to play on just the increment or the delay at this point. So my e5 pawn is being attacked thrice, and there's no clear way of defending it very easily. And the other part is that even if I try to defend it, the knight on f3 hangs after f takes e5. So I played, and actually here is a really interesting idea. So I play h5, and then he just plays knight takes e5, knight takes e5, f takes e5, and then if the queen actually moves, like let's say on e3 he has bishop c5 attacking extending the bishop twice, and here I have to find bishop g3, but bishop d6, and I'm still in a lot of trouble, and there's e4 coming in, and the rooks will double up really quickly, and I'm not doing like really good. So here I found queen b6, trying to again exchange queens and get that like diffuse or like remove the tension in the position. So here he played queen c4, which I think I didn't like too much, and I was happy playing knight bd2 because it just comes with tempo, and I'm happy giving again some stupid pawn on g4 because it's not something that's helping me. And here I missed a very key move. So here if I were you, I would basically pause and try to find the move. I played rook a g1, but here the best move is queen b7 exclam, and it's so amazing, but also a very difficult move to find, because here black has to play really accurately for the next 2 3 moves, actually even more, to basically get a repetition. And it's a beautiful sequence of moves that I will actually show you. So here, if I play queen b7, he has to play bishop a4. And the thing is that I'm attacking this bishop, so this bishop is being attacked here. Bishop can't go back because this rook hangs. So, and the only square the bishop has is basically can't go here either, because I go here, is this a4 square. So bishop a4, b3, queen f5, king d1, and rook ac8, letting go of the bishop. And if b takes a4, rook takes c3. And here there's two variations, and I'll show both. So if let's say I go greedy and I queen first here, and this is the more interesting one. You go queen c2, king e1, queen c1, rook c1, rook takes c1, and now after king e2, knight f4. And now there's a repetition. So there's this really tight knit net that the king's pieces have built around him. So these pieces not allowing the king to move, but this knight stopping these two squares, this pawn taking these two away, and then this rook taking this whole file away. I'm sorry, this whole rank away. And you have to play king e3, knight g2, and now again, sorry, this is where everything is, and you cannot possibly run away again. And here if you try to, so here's a repetition with this, just king e3, knight g2, king e2, knight f4. But here if you try to run away with something like king d4, you have bishop c5, and then king d3, only move, knight f4, checkmate. So you cannot at any point try to run away, and that is the beauty of this. And here after even king d3, knight f4, king e3, knight g2, and there's a repetition. Even though I have two queens on the board, there's nothing I can do about it. Although let's go back a little, and let's say that instead of queening, I spot this somehow, being superhuman, and I play rook c1. I'm stopping queen c2, then rook d3, and king e1, again breaking the pin because knight on f3 was hanging. But now you just take, and you start with knight, and again queen takes f3. So I have two pieces. Sorry, black has two pieces for the rook. And now even if you queen, black goes queen e4, king d2, bishop b4 check, rook c3, queen check, bishop interposes, you take, and here you take, check, and knight f8. And the king is so wide in the open, there is some sort of perpetual somewhere, queen e4 is coming. There's just so much going on that it's going to be a draw really quickly if you if white just tries to start running away. But queen e4 is coming, white has to respond to a lot of threats. White's king is in the open. It's going to be perpetual one way or the other. But I missed all of this, and I just went rook a-g1, and here I thought he'll go queen f5 and I'll go king c1, and I'm more than happy again to just play it on from here, and I'll have some ideas with queen c7. But here after f takes e5, I realized I'm not doing really good. And even though I want to play h5, so my idea was to play h5, but after knight f4 and the knight threatening e4, e2, d3 checks, I'm not really happy with that knight coming in and causing a lot of problems. So I actually played rook takes g6, h takes g6, queen c7. This seems okay, but it's actually a little problematic because after rook fd8, I had to play here queen takes e5, bishop f6, takes, and the game can go on from here because there is I'm an exchange down, but it's still playable. Instead, I think two pieces for a rook, but I chose to play the inaccurate move knight takes e5, and my idea is that I'm attacking the d7 bishop. And here I think the easiest way to just kill this whole position was queen takes f2, and if I play knight takes e7, rook a7, that knight on d7 is being attacked twice by the x-ray and is going to die, and then I'm going to hold rook down, and it's just lost from there. He gave me an out from here by playing rook ac8, And here I thought, and at this point, I think, mind you, that I'm like, we're both playing like with minutes, seconds on our clocks. So I found this very tricky knight c6, and my idea is that if you're not taking my queen, I'm going to take either on e7 or on d8 and try to see if I can get something out of there. And I still have this very weird idea of, so if you take my queen, that's the variation that I'm going to show. But I also have this queen takes d8, rook takes d8, or bishop takes d8, and then I can put the knight on b8, and I'm threatening to queen. So there's some ideas that that can be played, but here he took on c7, and I took on e7, and after king f7, knight takes f5, g takes f5, I find this bishop b6, and after rook cc8, my first instinct was to actually not take the rook, but to just keep this position, because that just forces one of his rooks to just stay at the back rank, and my rook can be really active. But again, with seconds on the clock, I did not want to take any chances, so I took on d8 takes, and here I played h5. Again, if you have a knight versus a bishop, you want just the pawns to be on one side of the board and not on both sides of the board. So I wanted to exchange off this h pawn as quickly as possible with the g pawn, and since it's so far ahead, it's just smarter for him to exchange it off. And here he made one final mistake, rook e7, and I played knight g5. And now the thing is, I actually wanted to go, when I played knight g5, my idea was, again with seconds on the clock, is to find a repetition, and I think there is one. But then after he played king g7, I realized that I have a free pawn and I can go for it. And now against king bishop versus king knight, I think I am much better, because I have this very interesting blockade on d4, and the other thing is that my king on c1 is very close to the pawn on f5, and no matter how hard he tries, that knight on d4 is never moving, so that pawn on d5 is just an empty threat. The only viable threat right now is the pawn on f5, and this bishop really has to deal with these two pawns marching ahead. So after f4, a4, bishop b7, b5, king d6, and here I think I made the final mistake. I should have just gone king e2, and that's probably just easy winning, because even if he goes bishop c8, I have king f3, and there's no way to defend that pawn, and even if it tries to, my two pawns are marching ahead, so his king is overloaded. Instead, I here played a5, which is a blunder, but again with seconds on the clock, and here after king c5, I just pushed it into like forcing moves, insufficient material territory, where I played knight e6 check, king takes b5, knight takes f4, king takes a5. I think here we agreed to a draw, but after knight takes d5, it's anyway insufficient material for anyone to mate, because after bishop takes d5, c4, bishop takes c4, there's no way he can mate me, and it ended in a draw. So it was a really interesting game, but also a lot of tactics were present happening behind the game, and a really tactical game. And I feel like at the start I was really happy, I'm 2 pawns up, but I have positional weaknesses, but it's still tactical. And then I think some place in the middle, I think I missed queen b7, and that was one of the major like drawbacks, where I played h4, and I allowed him to get an f6, and he just like punched back, and from there it became a little difficult, and then we equalized somehow after he missed the knight c6 idea, and he should have just taken with the bishop on c6 when I played knight c6. But anyway, so it was actually a very back and forth game, and overall actually a really good game in terms of the tactics that are present. So it's a really rewarding game if you spend some time looking at the tactics behind this. And as always, thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe the video if you like it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.